Car hire rules appendixes. Appendix A, reference car hire rule 5 code of the switching reclaim rules for the terminal switch road, a road in which the private traction connecting with the car received with the carrier road, either direct or through the intermediate road is unloaded, reconsigned, reshipped. The car loaded, reconsigned, reshipped, delivered to the carrier road, either direct or through an intermediate road. The service is performing the being is designated switch limit, the switching charge, the intermediate switching road of the road handling with the car from the one road, or the steamship with the carriage barge line with the designated switch line with the car not being loaded, unloaded with the intermediate switch road should the such road performing the service number participating in the freight carrier. 3. The carrier road, a road which participating with the freight carrier that handled such own company material in the road hauled on the unbound ship that delivered the car to the terminal switching road either direction through the intermediate switch road unloaded with the reconsigned reshipping. On the other on an outbound shipment, the receiving of the car to the terminal switch road either direct or through the intermediate switching road that has been loaded with the reconsigned reshipped for the terminal switching road. 4. Terminal switching service performed the terminal switching road as defined in these rules. 5. Intermediate switching service performing the intermediate switching defined as these rules. The empty car returned home, returned with the switch road previously loaded, reconsigned, and reshipped at the terminal switching with the service and such road was delivered at empty with another road with the same switching districts will be considered as handled in intermediate switching services. Interterminal switching service, the service perform handling with the car that has been loaded with the reship with the switching limits with one road, unloading the reshipping of the same with the switching alignments with another road with the switching charge. B. General rule. The car hire rule 5 is not affected by the fact that the switching service the switching road making elected in charge of from the shipper with the consigner. The rules apply to only the car subject of the car hire pays of supply settlement with included only with the switching road except that shall not apply with the load with the company material company code for the use of the switching road. Appendix B, reference service code rule 11C, car hire rules introduction. Rules governing settlement of the use of the foreign railroad owned freight cars on short line railroads with less than 100 miles in length. The code of the hire rules should apply with except for the end of the modified amendment. The short line connection. Short lines have then one of the connection railroad may be settled with the road with the use of the foreign freight. The equipment to know if the alternative method of settlement of those amendments available. These short lines having connection with more than one railroad will settle with the car owner for the use of the foreign freight equipment except for the authorized to settle with the connection railroad by those roads. Settlement under the Rule 2 with the should be promptly with the close of each of the calendar month shall include all the car hires during the month. 4. The connecting of the carrier settlement that was made with the Rule 2 and shall also report all the car hiring or accruing and such for the cars that can carry a car owner with the accordance with the car code car hire rules. J. 5. The junction with the reports prescribed in car hire Rule 10 need not to be made for the car subject to Rule 2. Appendix C and Appendix D and ESPC and D are eliminated. Appendix E, Title 49 CFR Section 1033-1, car hire rates. The Code Federal Regulation concerning description, Title 49 CFR Section 1033-1, car hire rates. Definition applicable to the section car hire freight with a car bearing the bearing reports markers other than excluded the boxcar defined in Section 1039-14C2 whenever they're owned by the leaf of the car Class 3 carrier bears the Class 3 carrier reporting marks. Car hire compensation to be paid the use of the owner for the use of the car. Such compensation may include but not limited to the hourly or mileage rate. The fixed rate with the cars may place within the service of the rebuilt on January 1st, 1993, whichever was written being the contract of the purchase, rebuild or build prior to January 1st, 1992, regardless of whether such a car bore railroad reporting marks prior to January 3rd, 1993. January 1st, 1993, provided, however, until December 31st, 1993, all cars shall be deemed the fixed rate cars. 4. Market rate car. And a car with any is not a fixed rate car. The owner of the rail car with the entitled the rail car receive the car on higher rates before the reporting mark. 6. The prescribed rate, the hour mileage rate with the effective of the December 31st, 1990 is published in Association of American Railway Circular number OT10. Published prescribed rates will be enhanced to reflect the OT37 the surcharge of the Rule 88 rebuild for the undertaking completed during the 1991 and 1992. The rebuild of the work was written and binding with the contract prior to January 3rd, 1992. 7. The use of the rail car possession of the cars whether not the owner. B. Fixed rate cars. Car hires that have fixed rates shall be determined as follows, except the provided in paragraph B3 of the section of the 10-year period beginning with January 1st, 1993 to the prescribed rates continuing applying the fixed rate without regarding the aging of the such car. So subsequent to December 1st, 1990, the prescribed higher rate shall not be increased with any of the additional betterments performed under such of the car. December 31st, 1990, any OT37 the surcharge prescribed rate for the work performed on January 1st, 1993 would expire upon the earlier one of the car being with the market car rate of the car or 2 of the expiration date of the associate provided by the Association of American Railroads, circular number OT37. Upon termination of the 10-year period specified in B1 of this section, all fixed rate cars shall be deemed at the market rate that is governed under paragraph C of this section. 3.1. During each of the calendar year beginning with January 1st, 1994, the rail car has voluntarily elected to designate up to 10% cars in the fleet of the January 1st, 1993 treated with the market rate of the cars. Purpose of the selection of the 10% limitation shall apply with the calendar year, but this shall be non-cumulative if the car designated with the treated with the market rate shall be governed with the paragraph C of this section. Such election would be effective on only in accordance with the following provisions. Any election shall be irrevocable relating on the rail carrier making the election, all users, subsequent owners. The rail carrier marking election has been legally titled over the car. The rail car making the selection does not have legal title over the car, but obtained the consent with such for the election with the party holding the legal title. Transaction presumed with the party holding legal title to the car with the furnished with the car of the rail car making the election would be as entered with the January 1st, 1991. B. An election shall be irrevocable binding with a determined transaction presumed with the car was furnished with the rail carrier marking the election with the rail carrier. All usually the subsequent owner, if the rail carrier does not have a legal title of the car, does not obtain the written consent of such election without holding legal title. The transaction action was entered prior to January 1st, 1991. The transaction does not provide compensation to be paid for the party furnishing with the car with the base on the whole and the party directly with the car higher earnings over the car provided that, however, the rail car carrier making the election the subsequent obtaining the legal title of the car of such election then shall be made irrevocable, binding so that the rail carrier and all the use of the subsequent owners to see the party the holding legal title may be revoked the election subject to the provision in paragraph B3(1)(b) only but at the time the transaction pursuant with the paragraph furnished with the rail carrier making the election the first of the extent of the renewed but after January 1st, 1991. If such transaction is not extended or renewed after the time of the transaction terminates such election, the revoke the rail carrier may make the new election if not only with the written consent with the party holding legal title of the car and such election irrevocable binding of the rail car making the election of the user subsequent owners. 2. Notifying the paragraph in the B3(1) with the legislation to be constructed with the right parties with the transaction provided with the consent with every the party made with the pursuant of such paragraph. C. Market rate cars. Market rate cars shall not be subject to the prescribed rates for the provision of Title 49 CFR 1039.14 C1 and 2. And C for the 2.1 of the Commission that shall not be prescribed by a car higher rate with the market cars. 2. The code of higher rules is reference for the Association of American Railroad Cars for the car hire agreement. The program provides for the owners of the use of the part of the agreement shall be resolved with the car hire disputes thereunder. The Commission may review the allegation of the brief for the car hire disputes resolution process established under these rules. 3. The car hire disputes involving the owner users not at a party with the agreements may be resolved with the Commission. D. Car hire agreement. The rail carriers are authorized to negotiate and enter into new agreements governing car hire. D. Effective date. The revision of these rules shall effect on January 1st, 1994. Title 14 CFR 1039.14 C3 with is amended adding the following sentence to end thereof. Any improvements of the report subsequent to December 31st, 1990 that exclude the boxcar performed in OT 37. The criteria under the rebuilt criteria to any other criteria shall not result in an increased addition surcharge of the car hire rates of such cars. Appendix F is a car hire arbitration form, Association of American Railroad Car Hire Arbitration Form. Section 1. The date. The blank is requesting arbitration. Association arbitrated car hire rate dispute with the blank. The freight cars listed attached to the printout best final office of these listed with the cars contain the AR bid offer and the offer to file the number's signature. Date in conjunction with the above the request for the arbitration following rates are currently contain the AR bid offer then files under numbers of each of the blank each of the parties best final offer the railroad and railroad rate signature and Association of American Railroad. Section 3. Date. If the decision arbitrator of the American Arbitrator Association with above the arbitration car hire rate of the cars issued shall be best final offer submitted in the following best final offer. If the decision arbitrator of the American Arbitrator Association arbitrator with the car hire rate shall issue for the best in the final offer submitted in the following best for the final offer signature. Alright, car hire arbitration guidelines. Car hire rule 25 of the effective January 1st, 1994, set forth the procedure for the arbitration owner to be used for the able to successfully conclude the bilateral agreement with the car hire, the marking rate car of the car is paragraph C6 for the except otherwise paragraph C7 the situation. Arbitration shall be conducted in accordance with the commercial arbitration rule for the arbitration of American Arbitration Association. Paragraph C set forth in the procedure for unless the parties mutually agree on otherwise the following administration guidelines will apply unless the parties agree otherwise. The parties initiating arbitration shall be complete with the car hire arbitrations appendix F of the section with the forward over the night within the party with where the car hire rates of disputed involved the American Association American Arbitration Association 2200 Central Boulevard, Suite 300, Atlanta, Georgia 30345. The supervisor car hire description AR Rail Incorporated 7001 Weston Parkway Suite North 200 Cary, North Carolina 27513. Inflation of the party shall include the name, telephone number, the address, as well as similar information from the second party in the dispute. The AAA will then conduct both parties to determine the parties agree with the specific procedure. The AAA shall inform both of the parties to be the conventional statement of the reply statement that should be forward with the car hire rules 25C and 5C. The AR will submit each of the party best for the final office completing section 2 of the appendix F, and then provide with the copies of the parties involved in the arbitration. The arbitration will complete the section 3 appendix of the forward involved with the parties for the AR within 5 days of the decision. The decision will render within the 90 days of the receipt of the request of the American Arbitration Association to demand the arbitration within 60 days of the appointment of the arbitrator, which have left the arbitrator fee determined with the parties' choice and selection of the arbitrator of the $1,000 administration fee will be charged to the American Arbitration Association. The parties will shall equal the first $3,000 incurred by the arbitration proceeding. The parties who rates not selected for the arbitration shall pay the expense of the $3,000, and the American Arbitration Association will bill the appropriate charges to both parties. Appendix G is a reference car hire rule with the 11.4 AR accounting code, the sheet number, the car AR accounting number, and monthly year, unit initial, the owner, East-West Railroad reference. Show the Appendix G, show the reference Appendix G and I reference of the code type descriptions. Grand total reporting procedure of the GI, total load, empty cycles, grand total hours amount, miles amount, per prudencies amount. Appendix H, summary amounts due to the car hire, North-South Land Railroad, some of the amounts due to the car hire, freight cars, tractor trailers, and railroad. Item number, type of the account, description, A payment, B deduction, A and B net. Go through prudencies, car hire, other, miscellaneous, and grand totals. Car reference car hire rule 11A, North-South Railroad car hire AR accounting code, accounting number, sheet number, month, year, car hire adjustment report, voluntary adjustment, prior penalty adjustment, additions, prior non-penalty adjunctions, deductions, unit number, the rate, your time, the rate, mail rate, prudency rate, type, payment code, beginning cycle, year, monthly, hour, end cycle, monthly, year, monthly, hour, time units, LE, miles, and total amount, service month, Alright, Appendix J, and then I believe the rest of it should be not very much. Appendix J. Reference card with the Rule 11A B1. In the interest of providing consistency with the consent with the form of the content information immediately below is confirmed and considered with the mandatory of the time of the process for the car hire discrepancy claim, but the prescribed claim format to come with the mandatory with the claims issued service month July 1992. So note 5. The side of the claim shall be form of being an 8.5 to 11-inch claimee, the car initial number, the AR equipment type code, the month and year of the car hire, earned the race time and the mileage, the prudency of the car owner, name of the mail location, all interchange with all cycle records over the month, and the C notes 1 and 2, then the location alpha abbreviation, city with the interchange, including direct connections to any event with the preceding, beginning with the ending cycle specified in car rules, car hire rules 2 and 11B4. Train 2, data type of codes of the interchange record, the appendix J2, but they require them manually pre-prepared and claimed all non-penalty allowances for the monthly being claimed, the C note 3 with the cycles of information is claimed, the claim, the C note 2, 3, and 6. 12, the total amount separated amount for the basis of the prudency. 13, provision of the claimer to post the record of the furnished payment and payment of the allowance for information provision of the reissuance of the showing the new claimer month and reissue. Alright, note 1, manually prepared claims must only be to include the last previous, the first subsequent records in addition with those needed to support the claim. 2, the number of hours, note 2, the hour of the month, accumulated to the hour of the beginning of the cycle of the third month of the 1100 hours will be stated at 60. Note that 3 online titled claims show the hours that will be claimed for each of the railroad applying the overpayments to the underpayments of the paragraph rule 11B3. Note 4, when responding to the claim, denote the road initial with the first place available to the user record section with the reply with maybe the descending sequence. No 5 claim difference in the car hire rates are not required to be issued in the standardized mandatory claim format. No skip a line with the owner and pay history record for each of the interchange record with the cycle or interchange is missing. No 7 reason code for future use. Alright, guidelines for preparing and processing of the claim. The guidelines supplement the requirements of Appendix J with the code for the car hire rules for rate with Appendix 7 with the code for trailer with the containing reporting rule of 36.1. When the due and paid with the note and not the same, the shall difference for claim within the new DIFF section. The print with either the time rate claim, the mileage rate claim, the prudency rate claim, the duration with the car initial and the number. If the claim is in time of the mileage, underpayment of the permit, the time claim, and the mileage claim. Settlement involving more than one condition, miles rates with during the monthly and require the separate claim with such an element. In other words, if they're both rate discrepancy number of the time on units of miles settled and separated to separate the claims must be issued. In some of the conditions, $25 or less, the claim shall not be issued. And interchange and the junctions advised that should be shown with a separate line with the leave of the units term and allowed with the claims blank with the end cycle, the end of the hour, and end of the location show the time of the location of the interchange of the junction, the column head junction, type report row with the twofold purpose of the under owner's record section with the interchange other than direct connections show appropriate AR junction codes, Appendix J2 with the pay codes, paying road marks shall be displayed with the all cycle of the report of the owner. Also, the railroad responding to a claim should be inserted with the mark of the column with the use of the record section. The beginning and end location must be displayed in the alphabet rather than numeric than freight. Mandatory Rule 260. If the cycle information is used with the claim preparation, each claim must show the last reported cycle with the last interchange, whichever the curve of the last from the Friday of the month. Each claim must also show the first cycle of the interchange, whichever has occurred earliest in the subsequent month. The cycle information is not used for the claiming the preparation. Each claim must show the last line on the last of the interchange, whichever they occurred last prior to the month. Each claim must also show the first on line of the interchange, whichever they occurred within the subsequent month. If the information used in the claim preparation cycle settlement would include the owner's own online cycle and the joint interchange of the records available to the owner, if it should be included in the claim, the owner's agreement agrees with the user payment for that number of the units displayed when they earned allowed to differ in its columns. It should also be printed on the same line for the user cycle reporting. If there is a discrepancy with the earned allowed print such data with a separate line would become accumulated to the hour, month, and the shortage apparently occur. The cycle information will not used for the preparation cycle. Settlements are not required. This is earned and allowed with the summary button with the claim shall must reflect all the payments received and all junction interchange records available to the owner, and it should not be included the claim. If the equipment is owner lines at any time during the claim of the month shall total the line of the total time of it on the line under the owner's mark of the earned and allowed summary at the bottom of the claim. Or Appendix J is a mandatory time claim format. It says the claim number, issued road month, year, type, the road rates due, paid, indifference, time, mileage, and prudency. Initial number of the 4 month of the day reissued road. Owner's record from road, junction type of the report road, jump road, beginning year, month, month, day, hour, XX. Beginning location, end of cycle, year, month, XX, end location, LE units are awarded and allowed, difference plus or minus, user records, comments. Alright, Junction 2, Junction Data, type of code definitions, reference Appendix J2, Junction Data type of definitions. B, the interchange record was created with a limited continuing system which both reported with the same equipment event with the time of the difference with greater than 4 hours. C, the liability except for the interchange record was submitted with the owner and used for the correct liability of their account. D, the interchange record created with a limited continuation system from the delivered record, no receipt reported. G, interchange report record created with a limited liability continuation system because of the gap of both reports missing. K, interchange recorded created by the liability continuation system at the end of the Rule 15 of the transfer liability. L, the interchange created with the start of the haulage event is reported. M, the interchange created when the stop of the haulage event is reported. O, the value interchange created with the one of the road reporting when the delivery road of the official reporter. P, the verified interchange created with the one road reporting when the receiving the road is the official reporter. Q, interchange report record created with the haulage terminated due to the multiple load and an empty for the staff of the change for the after 60 days if there has been a lease lapse within the start of the haul without valid stop. R, interchange record created with the limited liability continuation system from the receipt record, no delivery reported. T, the interchange created by the liability continuation system default logic where the truck reporting mission. TRUK reporting is missing. B. The verified interchange both roads were reported exactly at the same time in allocation. 4. Unverified interchange records created with the liability continuation system using the delivery record over both roads reported the same equipment event with the time discrepancy within 4 hours or less. Z. Interchange record created with the liability continuation system when an output to the TRUK and in from the TRUK messages match both of the roads reported. Appendix J3 suggested rate claim format, the road, earned month, car ID, rate type, paid units, paid rate, unexpected rate, total date, rate difference, and amount claimed. Total claimed against the ABCD road. The claim should be printed on 8.5 by 11-inch paper. Alright, Appendix K, Car Hire Rule 22, Reclaim Report, Reference Car Hire Rule 22A, North-South Railroad, Car Hire Rule 22, Reclaim, Form Number RC22, Patron Assignment, Other Assigned, Unassigned, Patron, Location, and Month, Car Initials, Car Number, Time, Arrived, Time, Place, Forwarded, Time, and Forwarded, Empty, Car Hire Hours, Rate, and Authority. Time arrived indicating the date of the time of the arrival of the release and proceeding load of the lining with the holding point, time plate for the indicating the time to arrive with the free time with the commencing date, release with the load with the date, storage of the date, charge of the commencing whichever that comes first, the time forward and empty indicating the date and the time forward delivered the connecting time whichever that is applicable with authority indicating the reclaiming authority of the pool assignment number, naming the title person of the ordering of the car moved. Or Appendix L with the Car Hire Rule 1F2 and 6B2, procedure for the conducting an audit with the rule under the provision of Rule 1F2 and Rule 6B2. The AR audit staff, the Assistant Vice President, Business Service Division Secretary, and the Chairman of the AR Equipment Assessment Committee will meet with the road section subject for the audit to establish the parameters for the audit, but any agreement cannot be reached. The parameters will be set with the discretion of Assistant Vice President, Business Secretary, Division Secretary. The AR audit staff will conduct the audit, but then take the extent of the possible utilize present staff of the perform same with the extent of the additional auditors that are required. There will be selected for the subject matters expert, the chairman of the Equipment Assessment Committee of the Railroad's internal audit of their own records that are not covered in the Car Hire Rule 6. Appendix M is eliminated. Appendix N is the Car Hire Reclaim Summary. The Car Hire Reclaim Summary shows the blank date and file to and from the statement of covering the type of the reclaims and indicated Rule 8 Rule 478, 21, 22, 23, CSR, Code Service Rule 5 million gross NLG counter special other supplemental intermediate statement of the 2020 blank cars showing the cars holding from acting of the blank of amounts to the accounting with the time, the count, mileage, the count, and prudency total. Requesting from the payment in accordance with the car with the high rule of 13, including the amounts for the prescribed car with the high rule, the coding of the file number, the given the number, the detail of the cars attached, or the AR exchange type. Acknowledge receipt of the appropriate space below the deduction in accordance with the car hire rule 14. These amounts have the deduction from the joint. Your car hire report is from the month of blank in 2000. Detail of the cars attached and other AR exchange saved. The acknowledgement is not recorded. Separation of various categories of the payments is included with the Appendix M. It is mandatory, however, the specific format is illustrated above. It is not mandatory, but is subject to the individual road manual computer preparation references. 2. Blank the year and the date of the file. Your blank reclaim summary has received the blank of the month of the year, showing it had only the account of the month, but the account time, account mileage, account prudency total of these amounts may include the car hire report to the year month of the blank of 2000. Alright, Appendix O shows the timeline given on the table of 1 permissible claims, reclaim timelines, counter claims, and 3 most allowed claims, reclaims claims. Appendix B of the car hire rules, timeline guidelines, table 1 car hire rules for the timeline guidelines, reclaim deduction, table 2 car hire rules, the timeline counter reclaim deductions. Appendix Q eliminated. Appendix R hourly, monthly mileage car rate, table of the mileage revised in the September 1982, the published in accordance with the Interstate Commerce Commission Ex Parte number 334, car compensation basic per diem charge of the formula revision in accordance with the Rail Reviolation Reform Act of 1976, decided in May 1980. And this follows the rest of them with plain box, 40-foot, 50-foot equipped box, all type A cars, plain gondola type G and J with a third numerical 1, 2, and 3, and 4, equipped gondola, all type E cars, covered hoppers, L-type C cars, open top hoppers, general service, L-type H and all hopper, open top hoppers, service car, all type cars, H and K and J with a third numeric 0, refrigerator non-mechanical type R with a 22nd numeric 001, official mechanical type R with the end numerical 6, 7, and 9, flat cars type, trailer on flat car, container on flat car, all type P and Q and S of the cars. Flat cars, general service at all type of the F cars with the instrument numericals 1, 2, and 3, and 0, and flat cars, multiple level, all type V cars. Flat cars, other type, F for the second numericals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and also O with his first numerical. 4, all other freight cars are all the type of the L, and T cars are type F for the within the second numerical 7. And then the rest of it is just charts that show the car value, mileage over the 0 to 24 years to over 20 years. Hourlies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the years. And then shows the progression of the car value for each different one of the ones that we read in the appendix. And it's just basically all charts for the rest of it. And Appendix A, reporting marking transactions. So it has a couple addresses, and that is that once again, this has been a taping of the Association American Railroad Circular Number OT10 Code of Car Service Rules Code of Car Hire Rules.